What do you got?
I think I can prove to a judge that both of these men had the mens rea.
What the hell is a mens rea?
It's a legal term the lawyers use. It just means the intention to commit a crime.
Okay, come on, let's go.
Mens rea?
Put the cuffs on him.
How could we have gotten mens rea? We take blood? Can you do it without taking blood? We both use condoms. How is this possible? I want to see a doctor. Can I have an independent blood test?
Money!
I feel sick.
What are you doing?
Mens rea! Oh! Oh! My God! No!
Well, she met him at a home one night. Said, let's start with a kiss, it'll be alright. But now she might have a bun in the oven times two, and neither of them knows what to do. It's a blow by blow. Who's the daddy show? Is it twins from a blowjob? Oh, I don't know. Paternity tests and lawyers in sight. This crazy situation just ain't right. He swears he's not the one to blame. Says it's biologically insane. But she's pointing fingers, shouting loud, while the lawyers gather in the legal crowd. It's a blow by blow. Who's the daddy show? Is it twins from a blowjob? Oh, I don't know. Paternity tests and lawyers in sight. This crazy situation just ain't right. Now legal vices, he takes a drink, says let's settle this without the legal stink. He challenges her lawyer, please be better. We don't need another bad letter. So let's raise a glass to this legal brawl. May sanity prevail and pride take a fall. Twins from a blowjob, what have you to hide? But let's find some peace, let your conscience be your guide.
I'm having my Korean panic attack.
Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good afternoon, good night. And just look, if you're watching this on replay, you have no idea what's going on. If you're watching this live, I apologize. The worst thing that could ever happen to anyone happened to me. I had a whole thing prepared. I had everything laid out. I was the guy with the 3x5 cards and string. I had an amazing presentation all laid out. We were going to go do down just by the numbers. I had it all set up. All I had to do was walk in the studio, hit the lights, push play, and go. Then some things happened. Apparently, got a mandatory update. Well, but even before I knew I had the mandatory update, I wake up and apparently Twitter's all abuzz with a new filing. This new filing was not on my radar. No clue it existed. I'm like, oh hell. And so there's that. It totally throws my timeline off. Why you got to be filing stuff? Can we just declare a detente for a while? I thought we were done filing shit for the time being, but we're not. Apparently, we got to talk. We'll talk about that. So I'm like, oh crap, I got to find something to do with this. So then I come in here ostensibly 10 minutes early because now I have new stuff to deal with. And then I see this horrifying scene. I have been through a mandatory update, like one of these updates that just updates whether you want it to or not, mandatory updates. And apparently this mandatory update just messed with my camera software. That was the reason I was madly trying to get to reconnect Doggo Cam to work here, but meanwhile I deleted all of my drivers for my awesome, amazing, wonderful camera here, and then reinstalled them and finally got everything working. So that's why I was late. I apologize for being so horrifically late. It's partially your fault, people. I didn't even have time to groom the stash this morning. Jeez. All right, we got to talk. we're going to talk about a lot of stuff today here. Before we do, just a few quick housekeeping items. If you're watching this on replay and don't want to get through all this fellowshipping and philosophizing stuff, give us about 5 minutes. Just skip ahead until it looks like we're talking about something important. Oh God. Yeah, this wasn't a StreamYard problem. This was a camera driver problem. Like, your computer is not recognizing. Well, the computer is recognizing it. Nothing else was. So we got to take care of. We can put that on. We can put that away. We can put that to rest. That's done. Zen, be like water, flow, go full Taoist. All right, that's where I am. But housekeeping wise, today, if you are keeping track at home, we are in day 71. Day 71 of the emotional support potato pig dog streak. And if you have no idea what that means, I have 2 English bulldogs, Strawberry and Yoda. They're right here. You will definitely be hearing them snoring throughout the program. Nothing I can do about that. I didn't have time to deal with that situation. But if we hit our first little main goal, if we get to the certain level, we unlock the Doggo Cam achievement. It looks like we're about $70 away from unleashing the emotional support potato pig dogs for day 72. Whether we get to day 72 of our streak, whether we keep the streak alive and get it into triple digits or not, that's entirely up to you guys. Not grifting, not begging, not doing any of that for the super chats or the Zelle or the Cash App or the Venmo. Not begging, grifting, or requesting any of that. If you want to contribute and if you want to get there, it's entirely up to you. That's all that's going to be said about Doggo Cam until we hit the mark and get there for day 72, if that happens. So that's your option. If you need emotional support potato pig dogs, you know what to do. That's the first thing. Second thing, there is no like and subscribe poll today for obvious reasons, but please take it into consideration, take it into your heart, and please hit the like and subscribe button. If you're here, you could be anywhere else on the entire internet, or actually not on the internet at all, and being anywhere with anyone in the universe, and you've chosen to spend your time here with me, and I don't take that for granted, not for a second. So no like and subscribe poll today, but just please remember to do that. All right, let's get through this initial part here, which I believe the first thing we need to do is acknowledge those who have who have been keeping y'all company during my 15-minute absence. Equality, yes, you missed day 69. I almost had a Freudian slip there. Yes, you missed day 69 of the Doggo Cam equality because today is day 71. So clearly you missed it. During the 15 minutes that I was having a massive heart attack, Cat Lady Ballerina with the $5. I'm dying to know if 2 blowjobs causes fake twins. Does 8 blowjobs cause fake octuplets? No, I think that would cause whatever 16 children is. But well, yeah, I guess you're right. See, lawyer math, Don't make me do math. My anxiety is over the roof. Don't make me do math. Oh, and get some breadsticks or scone. I've got to stop rocking back and forth. Give me a second. Even during the intro song, I was running around the house doing stuff. If this was a night stream, I would definitely have a scotch and there would be a cigar attached to me. Right. Deep breaths. Inner peace. Wings dropping a 20. Thank you so much. Super chat for the non-board. New camera fund, maybe. Oh God, I hope not. This ain't a cheap camera here. I definitely don't want to be replacing this thing. No, thank you. But thank you very much, Wings. It'll just be for the therapy cam, which I'm going to need after today. 1 ticket, please, says Natalia. Thank you so much for the $2. Island also with the $2. I might finish my snacks before the show starts. Well, lucky you. You got snacks. I didn't even get breakfast due to panic attack. Equality. Don't forget to drink water, sis. I have water here on the floor next to me, so I'm going to be joining sis in drinking some water. That's all I've got. I haven't even taken my blood pressure meds today, so, this just might get me today. This is the big one, Elizabeth. I'm coming for you. K-Dubs, it's all good for the $5. Watching puppy videos waiting for you. Well, we have live puppies here in a minute, maybe. Let's have to see. Thank you, K-Dubs. Great to see you as always. Angela Daly has become the newest member of the Clean and Sober crew. Thank you so much, Angela. I hope you'll stick around. We do some fun stuff here. We have a good time. We do some serious stuff, but we try to even do the serious stuff in a way that makes it a little bit lighter, a little bit more enjoyable. Lauren, what's up? Lauren in the house with the 2 more where that came from. If you dance for me, dang, it's really sad. That's the only super chats I'm going to be getting from you today. Shucks. Nick Starro, 71 is just 6. Nick, that's Nick to the penalty box with you. That's 5 minutes for instigating. Damn it. This is a family program here. Oh no. Cody T, bring on the snoring pig doggos. Strawberry and Yoda. They're here. I'm just gonna have to start calling her the S word because every time, because that her name is this in Korean, but now she's, because of the doggo cam, she's learned that the S word refers to her. So now I'm just gonna have to say the S word so she doesn't go and then start yapping. But Nicholas, shame on you. Shame on you, Nicholas. Oh Lord, where are we at here? Thank you, Cindy T. Winks, $10. Jeff having a panic attack. Jeff's not having a panic attack. Breathe, lol. Yeah. Island of the 2. Jeez, Jeff, take meds, eat food, don't die. That should be like, yeah, that should be Apple's new slogan. Take meds, eat food, don't die. All right, well, finally, before we get into it, music and fiction, all the Korea stuff gives me Hanam sickness. That's funny. That's actually funny. And we may have an impeached president here by the end of the day. A little bit of a, hey, let's declare martial law. No, let's not declare martial law. Let's impeach the president. Well, we're gonna have to see how that works out. But that's not a discussion for today. Not a discussion. All right, people, we've gone through this. Thank you very much. And that puts us 40 away from the emotional support potato pig dog cam already. So what's going to happen today? I don't know. But in that, as I was listening to the introduction song, I haven't given that video an official title. It's what I don't even know what it's called on YouTube, but I was listening to some of the words and they sort of hit extra home today, you know. This is nonsense. This whole thing is utter nonsense. Can you believe that this has been going on this long? And it's continuing to go on. And rather than seemingly working its way towards a resolution, it seems to be escalating and getting worse. Getting more vitriolic, getting the parties, the sides, and all of you and me out here. We're in the pond scum. You're in the peanut gallery. Where wherever we are, we're not the main players. But even the main players seem to be getting farther and farther apart. And can't we just do better? That's just my question. Now, I guess in view of the new stuff and the major system malfunction that I had here, I'm going to have to readjust on the fly. I had this great thing. I was going to give this big 10,000 foot overview of the case. Then we were going to catch up. We were going to reread the judgment in the case because it's been a while since we've looked at it. Why is rereading the judgment important? Because Laura Owens' side has just filed very recently their appeal against the judgment. So we were going to reread the judgment. Then we were going to look at the motion to get rid of Judge Mata. We were going to look at the responses to that. We were going to look at the responses. I had this all planned, as plotted out. We were going to look at some of the other stuff that's happened in the intervening time. But it seems like that's all off the table. But I do want to start with kind of the 10,000 foot overview of the case so that we can all see where we've been and where we're going. Now, for those of you that are expecting a bunch of stuff that may not be from, oh my gosh, guys, all right. ADHD, focus here, then we'll get back to what's happening over here in chat. This is sort of the disclaimer I have. For those of you that know me, you know where I come from. For those of you that this might be your first time interacting with me or seeing me or whatnot, it's important to know that I don't really choose sides. I don't have a side. I don't have a pony in this show. Frankly, I'm amused by the legal battles that's going on, the personal stuff, the interpersonal bickering and fighting and drama amongst the main characters and against the NPCs and against the player. I mean, just all of the drama does not excite me at all, and I don't care. I don't want to get involved in it. I focus pretty much exclusively on legal issues, legal tangential issues, court filings, things like that, so that we can sort of take a step above the fray and maybe look at the battlefield from the viewing perspective rather than the in combat situation. That's kind of how I want to approach this. Both sides have room to improve. Both sides are doing good things. Both sides are doing bad things. It's not for me to jump on one bandwagon or the other. I want to see what can be proved in court. That's my fascination. Because as I always say, even when we're covering the trials, murder trials and whatnot, and what the truth is doesn't really matter. That's the thing that I have problems telling clients that all the time. Clients come to the office and they're like, "But I'm right. The truth is on my." That's in the legal sphere, and this is a hard pill for some people to swallow. The truth, what is right and what is wrong, and things like that, don't really matter at the end of the day. What matters is what you can prove in court. That's why the court filings, the legal aspects of this, that's the real drama. It's not the interpersonal conflicts. The drama is, what do you do when you know you're right and you can't prove it? What do you know when the other side's wrong and you can't prove it? What happens when the other side that's wrong has a lot of shit to prove on their side? But this case has a few less subtleties than most cases. So all right, that's just kind of my preachy. This may not be what you expect stream, which is kind of always the case. But I'm gonna call things as I see them. Now, frankly speaking, the way I've seen things in this situation to date has been fairly Clayton Echard's side of things. Very little of what I've seen would tend to support the Laura Owens side of things. Now, there have been a few opportunities for Laura Owens' side of things, I think, to be presented in a better way, in a more friendly and engaging way. But there's kind of been one obstacle to that, and it's gonna kind of come up a little bit today. Her lawyer, David Gingras, I praise him on the one side for finally being the guy that got them in the courtroom. She's had other lawyers, of quite a few of them, but David was the one that was able to get things focused, was able to communicate with her and get her into the courtroom to get this thing progressed to a judgment. So kudos for that. His interpersonal skills need work. Can we put it that way? In trying to win people over to his side, I think he's driven the majority of people, if I don't know how many there were anyway, but I think he's kind of driven them away by a few missteps, which we've talked a lot about in the past. But that's why in the introduction song, I have this, please be better. As lawyers, as officers of the court, we should always strive to be better. We should always, people hate lawyers until you need one, then suddenly we're your best damn friends. But as professionals, as officers of the court, as sworn members of the bar, we should be setting an example. We should be doing things that draw people to us, not turn people off to us. It's kind of difficult for some people. All right, so now what I'm going to do here today is I'm still going to give this 10,000 foot overview. It's kind of lengthy because there's been a lot going on here, and I'm going to try to present it as neutral and as fairly and balanced as I can, for what that's worth. And then I cannot ignore the filing that happened today, and I know that's probably what a lot of you are here for. There was a subpoena filed earlier today. Or, well, I don't know. I guess I don't know when it was filed. I didn't check the filing date because I was in a panic, but enough that it blew up overnight. So we're going to look at that. And if we get through that and get through my comments on that, then we'll go back and start looking at the original judgment in this case. And then we'll proceed to do what I had planned to do. But so we're going to go with the overview. We're going to go with this subpoena and some comments on that, and we'll talk to you. Before we get started, though, we do have the obligation of noting a few very, very important things that have happened not backstage, right here in the comments section, whilst I was giving my disclaimers and just shooting the breeze with y'all. We've got to a certain level of hilariousness that I'm amused by you guys. Where are we here? It's 9:30 a.m. says Justice for Clayton with a $5 Zuba Jet. It's 9:30 a.m. in the central U.S. Have you a cigar and scotch if you want. It's 9:30 p.m. Here it's 10:40 a.m., but I don't even have time to get one. Thank you so much for that, Justice for Clayton. Tease T, looking for the foghorn. Oh, that'll wake you up. Tease T has gifted 20 Legal Vices memberships. Holy crap. If you're one of those 20 people that got a Legal Vices gifted membership from Tease T, make sure you give Tease T a super special thanks. We will be doing a members only stream very, very soon. Stand by for that. Thank you, Tease T. You are always a super awesome supporter. Absolutely love you. Thank you so much. K-Dubs also gets a foghorn. My dog wants to see Straubs. My TV cabinet is weathered now. Strawberry. Fair enough. Julio, how you doing? Nick coming in hot with the shocker reference. Thanks, Urban Dictionary. Yeah, shocking, isn't it? Julio, how you doing? How you been? All right. With that, it is clear that we have far exceeded the threshold for unlocking the achievement. So, ladies and gentlemen, for the 72nd day in a row, be gone 71. For the 72nd day in a row, it is with great pleasure and honor, and for the benefit of you all, that I get to issue the command that we have come to know and love. That is the command to release the hounds. There we have Strawberry chewing on a bone. Yoda has mysteriously left the room about 30 seconds ago, so we'll bring Yoda up when Yoda shows up. But for now, here's Strawberry chawing on a bone. All right, people, are we ready to get down to business? It's been 25 minutes after being 15 minutes late. I totally suck at time today. So thank you very much for sticking with me. We've currently got however many people we have wherever you are. 283 people here on YouTube, 385 across YouTube, Rumble, and Twitter. Oh, you guys, you're being too funny. You're being too sweet. Julio, the $10. I want a Dr. Phil update episode of the Dingus. Can you get that to Twitter storm started, chat? At Dr. Phil, you know Dingus can't resist going on for the attention, like when he defended the dirty. Well, he used a lot of inflammatory words there, Julio. Be better. His name is David Gingras. We thought it was David Gingras until we actually heard him say his own name, David Gingras. But thank you so much, Julio, for that. Appreciate the $10. And K-Dubs, my other dog hates drops. Oh, Cash App. Uh-oh. Now watch my battery be dead. I haven't. Oh, there's Yoda having his. Again, if you know Yoda has this 5-minute struggle session every day, and we're in the 5. And a 15 from K-Dubs. Is it 15? No, wait, something's happening. No, it's 50. Holy crap. Now, wow. Dang. Another foghorn for K-Dubs dropping another 50 in us.
Gotcha, bitch.
Oh, that was the wrong button. Holy crap. There we go. Damn it. I did it again. Oh, holy crap. Henrietta Vanderflip says, what is he barking at? The universe. He's not barking at anything. I don't even have to be in the room. He's just rolling around on the couch going, rah, rah, rah. And he's halfway damn deaf, and the other half's just dumb, so he won't answer if I call him. You just have to deal with the struggle session. K-Dubs, thank you so much. You are insanely generous. Thank you so much. Julio, she's just yakking on a bone. Clark, cousin Eddie. Okay. All right. With that, we are going to get into this. Deep breaths. Wait for the dogs to all unwind, and let's get into this 10,000 foot overview. And I'm going to say that exactly one more time. That phrase exactly one more time before we get going. This is a balanced as I can make it. I'm trying to be fair to both sides in the history, and I missed 2 blue supers. I don't think I did. Oh, simping for strawberry. Hey, Lauren, thank you so much. Simping for strawberry. And Lauren, also show us the dog, damn it. Oh, there's one of them. There's one of them, Lauren. Thank you so much. Apologize. Nick still has me traumatized and afraid to read super chats. Thank you, Lauren. I appreciate those. You're great. All right. I've said enough. I'm going to go through this background, this history, and then we'll get into some meat and bones for today. How does that sound? Yoda's such a doofus. All right, I was gonna clip this for future purposes, just to isolate it, and Yoda is not allowing me to do that. Oh, I think we're done. Yep, Yoda's done. Yoda's done rolling around on the couch. He's coming back. Wait, you were in my bedroom. You weren't even on the couch. What are you doing, buddy? All right, when Yoda takes his place over here, we'll send the camera over there. All right, now I can do what I wanted to do. I was planning on isolating this sort of this history into a separate video so that people could watch it if they wanted to. And there you go. Here's Yoda. What's up? If there are any mistakes in here, because it's been a while since we've looked at this case, it's been since the judgment. So it's been a while, and if there are any mistakes in here, they're 100% my fault. And if you point them out in the comments or an email or whatever, and if they're significant enough, I will apologize for them. If they're just minor little details, sorry in advance. But if I get anything huge and majorly wrong, it's my fault, and I will happily correct the record. All right, where do we even start? Well, it's been a while since we looked at the case. So before we review any new information, I think it's going to be helpful, as I've said, to take a 10,000 foot view of the history of this particular sack of worms. I want to begin by explaining the origins and background of the Owens v. Echard legal battle as I personally understand it. A lot of things are left out. Some things may be disputed or even outright incorrect, although I hope not. And again, if anything in here is incorrect, it's due to my elderly noggin juice, and I apologize in advance. How do we handle this introduction? Let's do it this way. The legal dispute between Laura Owens and Clayton Echard that's captured widespread public and media attention. It's a case study in the complexity of paternity suits, the ethical boundaries of legal practice, the impact of public perception on the legal proceedings. I first just want to look at the origins of the case, sort of focus on the factual timeline, the legal issues at hand, and other allegations of unethical behavior and fraudulent behavior that's attributed to Laura Owens that's culminated in the judgment by Judge Mata. Let's not lick ears and cause ear infections. In May 2023, Laura Owens she's an individual with a history in equestrian activities and podcasting. She met Clayton Echard, a former reality TV star, known for his appearances on The Bachelorette, I believe, and as the lead in The Bachelor season 26. Their professional interaction concerning real estate reportedly turned rather personal, involving at least 2 incidents of salacious, slobbery knob polishing, or fellatio, I guess, if you're one of the more refined types. Echard says that that's all that happened. That's what Clayton Echard said. That's his side of the story. That's his, which I hate to use the term, that's his truth. Ugh, I hate that term. I hate that term. That's his truth. But Owens' truth. Owens claims there may have been additional rubbings going on or non-consensual forcible intercourse, which she said and not said. Now, mere days following this encounter, Owens claimed that she was pregnant with twins fathered by Echard. This assertion, however, was obviously met with some skepticism and denial from Echard, who stated that their interaction did not involve sexual intercourse, thus casting doubt on the paternity claim from the outset. And with that, the legend, question mark, it's a legend, I don't know. The legend of the tonsil twins was born, I guess, so to speak. Now, in response to Echard's public denials and refusal to acknowledge fatherhood of potentially non-existent twins, now she later said that it doesn't really matter if she was or wasn't preggers, just as long as she thought her condition was in the family way, shall we say. Well, Owens filed for an order of protection, as I like to call them, an OOP, against him in October 2023, alleging harassment. This legal move was most often used to try to ensure a person's safety from whoever is the subject of the order. But this order of protection, this OOP, was viewed by Echard and his legal team as an attempt to coerce him into acknowledging the pregnancy or entering into a relationship. There may or may not even have been a contract for that, entering into a relationship. Well, we'll set aside the story of Owens demanding that he sign this dating contract that required him to date her with intent for a limited period of time in exchange for giving him control over the fate of the likely non-existent tonsil twin fetuses. Fetae? Anyway. Owens then escalated the legal battle by filing a paternity lawsuit in August of 2023, seeking child support for the twins. Wait, I think I think there's something wrong with that timeline. But she was seeking child support for the twins that she claimed Echard had fathered. Echard countered by undergoing DNA testing, multiple tests resulting in, quote, little to no fetal DNA, which appear to directly contradict Owens' claims. Well, this case has brought to light several legal issues. One is paternity establishment. The primary legal issue is the establishment of paternity. Now, without conclusive medical advice, seeing as how it appears that she never, ever actually visited a real doctor's office in relation specifically to determining her pregnancy, DNA test or a paternity test that confirmed Echard's fatherhood, Owens' claims seem to lack even the wisp of a scintilla of legal merit, but that may or may not change as going forward with this case. There's also issues relating to evidence and possible fraud. The integrity of evidence presented by Owens came under some scrutiny, and legal proceedings revealed through their own admissions that she had altered documents, including pregnancy test results and ultrasound images that may suggest certain types of behavior. Now, also, the order of protection filed by Owens raises a question about its use as a tool for legal coercion rather than for genuine safety concerns for the person seeking the order. Now, there's also the public figure defense that might come into this. Both Owens and Echard's status as pubic figures. Oh, God, no! As public figures. Damn it, Freud. Why are you in my brain? Get out of my brain. Oh, all right. I'm better than this. Their status as public figures has introduced complexities regarding privacy, media coverage, and the influence of public opinion on legal outcomes. As I like how Vices caught himself before he said it and then went ahead and said pubic. Yeah, it's not like anyone said, "Oh, I wonder what he almost slipped up and said." Lean into it. That's all. Leaning into it's always the best thing to do. If something doesn't go your way, just lean into it, especially if it's never mind. Yeah. All right. Now throughout the legal proceedings, there's been several instances of Owens' behavior that were highlighted as ethically questionable or worse. But, we'll talk about those in the coming times. She admitted to altering the HCG test results, which were used to confirm pregnancy. She also acknowledged changing the name of the medical facility on one of the documents to sort of help her narrative a bit. There's been definitely inconsistent testimonies. Now, her testimony regarding the timing and circumstances of the alleged miscarriage were inconsistent, varying from never pregnant, which Judge Mata later used to question the validity of her claims, to more than 24 weeks pregnant. That's a wide range of possible times when you had a miscarriage. Well, it emerged during the Owens case that she had a history of making somewhat similar allegations against multiple men, with at least one prior case involving an alleged pregnancy and subsequent claim of miscarriage or abortion coercion. Now, there's been some media manipulation issues. Owens definitely attempted to use media to pressure Echard into acknowledging the pregnancy, which can be seen as an attempt to manipulate public perception in her behavior. She's written lots and lots of articles about it, and she's made lots and lots of statements about things. But it's not a one-sided street there. Echard has also used his platforms to try to manipulate the situation. Who wouldn't? Who doesn't want society to accept them? Who doesn't want the general public to believe their situation, to believe their side of a story? So, do we give both sides a pass? Whether what they're saying is factually correct or incorrect, set that aside and go, okay, are we condemning either side for using social media? I don't think we can do that. This is a modern time. Social media is a thing and it ain't going away. Both people have a right to get their side out, and we get to decide which one of those versions to believe. But social media has definitely played a significant role in shaping public opinion. Owens, as we just mentioned, has used platforms like Medium to write articles and disclose her allegations. Of course, trying to leverage public sympathy or to pressure Echard into compliance. But as I also mentioned, there's this counter narrative. Echard's employed social media to present his side, sharing DNA test results, statements from medical professionals and doing these other things that are attempting to undermine his opponent's side of things, Owens's claims. Now, the Pawn Scum Posse, if that's what we were dubbed early on in this fray by Laura's lawyer David Gingras. We were the Pawn Scum Posse. I took a vacation from the swamp, but it looks like we're back into the swamp now. YouTubers, social media commentators like Dave Neal, Megan Fox, Tug, that umbrella guy, myself, and it's expanded way beyond that now. But we covered the case rather extensively, and some of the time, some people have faced legal actions from Owens for their involvement in the social media side of things. Well, finally, as I mentioned, David Gingras was able to get us to court. He was able to get us to a judgment. The evidentiary hearing was held earlier this year in June. That was very, very, very critical. Judge Mata found that Owens failed to produce credible medical evidence to support her pregnancy claims. For instance, an ultrasound video that Owens presented was traced back to a YouTube video that wasn't hers. The court also concluded that Owens had knowingly presented a false claim. And this was based not only on the lack of evidence, but also on her history of similar legal actions. Owens was ordered to pay Echard's legal fees, a sanction that sort of reflects the court's views of her actions. Now, additionally, due to this pattern of behavior and the potential for perjury or evidence tampering, the case was referred to the Maricopa County Attorney's Office for further review, possible prosecution. And so the legal battle between Laura Owens and Clayton Echard up to Judge Motta's judgment, I think, serves as a very stark example of how personal disputes can escalate into these huge public legal battles that have significant implications, not only for the parties involved, but for you as YouTube viewers, us as commentators, people out on the internet, as we're going to find out a little bit later that post things on the internet, on Twitter, on Reddit and whatnot. This one simple case of, were you pregnant? Did you get a blowjob? Was there more to it? Between insignificant person A and insignificant person B. This legal battle has just escalated into this huge public lawfare that has significant implications. Owens' actions throughout the case were deemed by the court as not only lacking in factual basis, but also involving unethical and potentially fraudulent behavior. Now, the case underscores the challenge of proving or disproving paternity. Now, especially when complicated by public figures, media influence, allegations of deceit. The case also highlights the need for legal systems to adapt to this digital age, where public opinion can significantly impact the legal proceedings, and where ethical conduct of individuals and the conduct of their legal representatives comes under a microscope. Now, the judgment by Judge Motta, it not only resolved the immediate legal dispute in favor of Clayton Echard, but it also served as a warning about the consequences of engaging in legal battles based on falsehoods or perceived falsehoods, depending on which side you happen to be on. Although Owens has appealed the saga, this saga does continue. And we're going to be talking about that later. The appeal is going to be addressed on Monday. We'll go over the appeal on Monday. Spoiler alert, appellate court appeals are not as exciting as you might think they are, but they contain some of these important legal aspects, these important legal implications, these important legal arguments that I was just referring to a minute ago. So stay tuned for Monday for this lengthy 64-page appellate filing. Now, although this has been appealed, the lessons that we can take away from this on legal ethics, evidence presentation, and the role of the media in these legal disputes, it remains pertinent, I think, for future cases. And standing at the forefront of Laura Owens' case, as we've mentioned, as you all know, is a gentleman who came out of the West. He came out of the West. A man by the name of David Gingras. David Gingras, as far as I know, is an attorney with a specialty in internet law and defamation. Now, he's become a pivotal figure in the legal battle between Owens and Echard. His representation of Owens has been characterized by aggressive legal tactics, active social media presence, getting more and more active every day. That was after it got very, very active. Then it was very, very quiet. I never want to talk about this again. And then recently in since October, he's expanded quite a bit more and has a much more active social media presence. And there's also several instances of alleged threats and intimidation, alleged in quotation marks, threats and intimidations toward critics and media personalities. But I want to talk a little bit before we get into the meat and bones of everything about Gingras' approach to representing Owens. His interactions on social platforms, the legal and professional challenges he's faced, including bar complaints. I want to talk about those over the next little while. David entered this fray as Owens' attorney. He's been known for robust defense strategies in cases involving internet-related issues. His role in this paternity lawsuit is notable. if not notorious for several reasons. He definitely attempted to control the narrative, as I saw it, around the case through legal motions, such as efforts to seal records to maintain privacy, challenging the admissibility of evidence, which every good lawyer should do for their client. The evidence that could question her credibility, particularly. He's also very vocal in his defense of Owens in public. Often, as you all know, using social media to argue her case, which is to say the least unusual and unconventional. We don't see Clayton's side, Clayton's lawyer, well, Clayton's supporters and whatnot, yes, but Clayton's lawyer, deathly quiet, as most lawyers are when representing clients. This isn't unheard of, but as I said, the vociferousness with which Gingras is defending Owens in public is, I would say, unusual and unconventional. He's been widely criticized for his social media behavior by me and many, many others. His use of these social media platforms like X, I really hate calling it X, Twitter, YouTube, and things like that to engage with the public, the media, and critics is notable. I mean, he frequently posts updates, legal arguments, rebuttals on social media, aiming to shape our public discourse. But this includes live videos and blog posts on his law firm's website where he discusses the case's progress and his case's perspective. And as you may or may not have noticed, his approach often tends to lean towards confrontation. He engages directly with his critics, sometimes in combative terms, which has, quite frankly, I think, led to the perception of an attorney that's more focused on public relations than on traditional legal decorum that's come to be expected of lawyers. Now, his interactions aren't without controversy. He's been accused of making threats or intimidating statements towards those who criticized Laura or questioned the case's integrity. These included warnings to YouTubers and Twitter users of legal repercussions for their commentary or analysis of the case. He's referred to people that disagree with him as short bus people, special ed, pond scum. Hey, that's me, cockroaches. He said he can't wait to read their obituaries so long as he can throw it in the trash, so that he can throw it in the trash where it belongs. But in fairness, he's been called some rather benign names too, such as we saw earlier in the Super Chat, such as Dingus. And I may or may not once have referred to him as a douche canoe, which seems to have stuck. It seems to have stuck to the point where he referred to himself. He's embraced and leaned in. That's what I was leaning into. Something is important. If something happens that annoys you, lean into it. He's leaned into this and he's embraced it, and he is now at least referred to himself in at least one of his videos as douche canoe. So yeah, I started that. That wasn't my finest hour, but I thought it was funny. Lean into it. That's how this whole Lorax thing came to be. Someone said something like, "Who's this Lorax looking mofo?" And I thought, "Oh, that's funny. Lorax, that's me." Anyway, good to see him leaning into it and using the nickname for himself. Sort of. Now, he's threatened several media personalities, including YouTubers who covered the case with defamation. He's threatened to make them homeless through huge judgments against them. Now we've got the copyright strikes and claims coming through. These moves are largely seen as attempts to suppress free speech or critical analysis. He sees it as protecting the integrity of himself, the integrity of his client, and the integrity of his copyrightable works. Or I guess we should say copyright holding works, if we want to be accurate. Unfortunately, although I have personally and rather frequently cautioned against it and have urged him to be better, Gingras' interactions with social media commentators are particularly fraught with tension, shall we say. Perhaps the most high-profile confrontations with Dave Neal, a YouTube content creator that's covered the Owens v. Echard case extensively and who's largely responsible for bringing it to public knowledge. Now, after Dave's critical commentary, David Gingras sent a cease and desist letter. There was eventually exchange of legal threats. Eventually, a bar complaint was filed against Gingras by Dave Neal, which alleged professional misconduct. But that bar complaint against Gingras was swiftly dismissed, as such things from non-parties usually are. But on platforms like Twitter, Gingras, he's engaged in all these public spats with individuals and media figures defending Laura Owens' actions or his legal strategies. It sometimes escalates into personal attacks, as we're going to see a little bit later, or accusations of misinformation. The bar complaint filed by Dave Neal accused him of unethical behavior, including intimidation tactics, potentially violating attorney confidentiality issues, things like that. But while the complaint is ultimately dismissed, it highlighted the contention surrounding Gingras' approach. However, there's a couple of other bar complaints that I understand are still currently pending against him, one filed by the judge herself. Now, his aggressive and public defense of Owens, I think it poses some ethical questions about the extent to which attorneys should engage in the public eye. I mean, we have an obligation to zealously advocate for our client. That is a fundamental duty that all lawyers have. When we take on a client, we have an absolute affirmative duty to aggressively and zealously advocate for our clients. But this balance between the zealous advocacy and the duty to uphold the integrity of the legal process and profession is often heavily scrutinized. Now, despite Gingras' efforts, the case ended with Judge Mata ruling against Owens, finding her claim to be baseless and fraudulent. The judge referred the matter to the Maricopa County Attorney's Office for a review of Owens' actions, which by extension could reflect on Gingras' legal strategy. Now, Gingras announced his appeal. He's announced his continuing representation. This indicates an ongoing commitment to Owens' case, despite the adversity of the ruling and the adversity from the public scrutiny that's coming his way. So kudos to him, I guess, for maintaining his position, for not abandoning ship. Now, his strategies, I do think, tend to highlight a very thin line between aggressive advocacy and ethical legal practice. Where's the line? And it can often be easy to step over that. It raises questions about how attorneys should navigate social media and public relations in high-profile cases like this. The Owens case, I think, through Gingras' involvement, it underscores the needs for attorneys to adapt to modern communication platforms, modern styles, while still maintaining the integrity of ethical standards in legal profession. The internet can be a cesspool where you clearly say things randomly to strangers on the internet that you would never say in court, that you would never say to their face. But regardless of what you may think, and I'm going to praise him again for the stuff that we just talked about, regardless of what you might think of him, he deserves some degree of praise for doing what no other of Laura Owens' numerous previous lawyers were able to do, which I've already mentioned, is to get her into the courtroom for a hearing. And additionally, aside from how he's going about it, he is zealously advocating for his client. That's something that every lawyer should do. And as I said, we have an ethical obligation to do that. But stripping away all of the legal veneer of this, he strikes me as a guy that might be fun to hang out with. Like, you might be fun to have a drink with. He might be fun to shoot the shit with. And I really believe it would benefit him and maybe his client greatly, both personally and professionally, if he would show more of that in his legal work, if he would show more of that in his interaction with people. If you're a likable guy, people like you. They may not agree with you, but they might like you. And go, all right, I think his arguments are messed up. But he's still a good guy. He's doing the best he can, rather than having people actively hate you. But so where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? That's the question. Now the appeal has been filed. As I said, I want to take another look at Judge Mata's judgment, Gingriss's reaction to that judgment, the bar complaints, and ultimately the lengthy appeal that he filed on behalf of Laura Owens. But we're going to have to take a little bit of a pause in that for the reason that shit went down over the past few hours, apparently. Let's give Yoda some cam time there. Here's some Yoda time. What's up, Yoda? Yoda's giving the side eye. Before we get into this, let's take a break. I told you that would be a lengthy review, and I hope, as I said, that I got most of the information there. If you feel like William Shatner. If I've made minor misstatements, let him go. But if I've made some major errors for one side or the other, I welcome correction. I would be happy to correct any major misunderstandings or misrepresentations that may have come through due to my sloppy preparation. I saw a few super chats and things coming in here, so we need to look at those. Where did we get in the list? There's Laura's. Okay, I saw two of them. K-Dubs gifted 10 Legal Vices memberships, banishing the gray from chat. We've currently got 297 people here, and I see very little gray in the chat. We got lots of color there. That's fantastic. And the 10 Legal Vices memberships. If you got one of those 10 gifted memberships from K-Dubs, make sure you give K-Dubs a super, super special thanks. And Cat Lady Ballerina. I like to call him by his form. Now, be better, people. Cat Lady Ballerina, the $5. I like to call him by his formal name, Ding Dong Douche Canoe Esquire. People, you can't expect David to be nice to you if you're not nice to him. Kumbaya. Let's all hold hands, gather in a circle, and all right, chat. I'm challenging you, chat. I want everybody in chat, all 287 of you. I want you to say 5 nice things about David Gingras right now. Do it. Just kidding. That would be way too many chats coming through, but there's an old Korean story. No. People. Look, damn, chat. There's an old Korean story here that I'm... Last warning, Strawberry. I will put you outside. You want to go outside? Not gonna see you. Huh? Not gonna see you. Not gonna go out. I'm not gonna go out. All right. I'm sorry. Ask my dog if you want to go outside or not, and to be quiet. There's an old Korean story about a man who went to see a Buddhist monk, and he was asking the monk kind of for some guidance in his life, and he asked the guy, he said, what do you look? What do you see when you look at me? And the monk was a little heavy and a little portly and whatnot. And he said, the monk said, what do you see when you look at me? He said, I see a pig, a gluttonous pig, and he says, well, when I look at you, I see Buddha. And the guy says, well, how can you look at me and say that you see Buddha when I just called you a pig? And the monk said, through the eyes of a pig, everything looks like a pig. Through the eyes of Buddha, everything is Buddha. Let that sink in. Right. So there we go. That's the story for the day. Now, Dang it. I really didn't want to talk about this subpoena today, but it happened. It's here. It's got to be dealt with, and I'm going to deal with it as soon as I give Strawberry a timeout. Hang on real quick. I have to fight with the dog now because as soon as I get up, she's going to run back for her blanket and try not to get sent outside. Back in 10 seconds. She has to learn barking means outside. We'll let her back in a minute. Don't panic. We'll give her like a 15, 20 minute timeout. Then we'll let her back in. She has to think about what she's done. All right. Let me see where all of this is. Now, what I'm going to say, like I said, wait, all right, we got things going on here. Part of the stuff that collapsed was my opening lines here. So give me a quick second while I pull up the document that I didn't get, well, that I had earlier that was shut down on me. Hang on here. There it is. All right. Well, that's a good enough version of it. And what have I done? No. All right. Okay, I'm back. Again, sorry, I apologize for that. It was all set up last night, but and then that one document I brought up this morning, and then everything went to hell. So, right. I wake up to this Reddit subpoena. We're going to look at that. And fair warning, hear me out, people. I am not specialized in copyright. I know just enough to refer people to copyright lawyers. But there are some basic principles that are there that generally every lawyer knows. Now, when we go through this, you hear me out and don't shut me down when I mention that there might be some legitimate grounds here, because the one thing we have to discuss, which we will discuss, is the right to do something versus should do something. But let's take things one step at a time. What are you doing? I woke up this morning, like I said, to a mess. And the first, let's bring up the first part of the mess here. Here is I've got this thing in read mode, so there's no scrolly uppy thing on the side. There we go. Not that one. That's later. Stop that screen, move us over here, present the right screen, which is there. Here we go. All right, here we are, people. This is the document that was filed at some point, which on December 4th, it looks like. All right, let me see how much we can, looks like this is about as much as we can embiggen it. All right. We'll read through this and we'll talk it out here. Yes, that's Yoda's bad ear you're scratching. Right. David S. Gingras from Gingras Law Office, PLLC. The United States District Court, I wish there was some way to get rid of this stupid bar. I hate these bars. I don't need them and I don't want them in my way. I'd have to make this a little bit smaller just so we don't get black barred. We don't want to get blacked. Request for subpoena to identify infringers pursuant to 17 USC 512H and supporting declaration. Oh, hey, it went away, but as soon as I scroll, it's going to come back up again. All right. What he's doing here is he is seeking a court subpoena, to compel Reddit to give up the true identity of someone he claims is copyright claiming, that is infringing on his copyright. Now, very, very quickly and just very, very broadly, I know that for at least one of his videos, he's registered a copyright on his video. Strictly not necessary. It is necessary if you want to do a few things, but generally, anybody that creates something owns a copyright in that thing. Very, very generally. So you make a video, a YouTube video, you own the copyright to that video, just straight out. Now, if there's a few things that if you want to do certain things, it's important to register it. Sometimes it's necessary to register it, but generally speaking, you just create it, you own the copyright. He's saying someone is infringing with his copyright, and he wants Reddit to cough up the goods. So, pursuant to 17 U.S.C. David Gingras hereby requests the clerk of this court issue the attached subpoena ducis tecum. What is a subpoena ducis tecum? It's a fancy way of saying, give me something. It's for a production of evidence. So they want them to appear in court and give the evidence that's being sought. That's what a subpoena ducis tecum is. It's a request for evidence. Testiclops. Ah, okay, good. Those are thumbs. It scared me with a name like Testiclops. That profile picture spooked me a bit. I thought the Pawn Scum Posse went crazy, doxed people, hid things from their members, and were forced to disband. No, lol. Thanks, Testiclops. That was funny. Sorry that your profile picture scared me. Cat Lady, I don't expect him to be nice to me. Well, isn't it? And again, to quote Major Frank Burns from MASH, it's nice to be nice to the nice. Anyway, it's my moral high ground. It's not much higher, but whatever. Applicable law. Okay, so well, here we go. Issue the attached subpoena ducis tecum to non-party Reddit Inc. for the purpose of identifying certain alleged infringers. Applicable law. This provides as follows. Subpoena to identify the infringer. A copyright owner or a person authorized to act on the copyright owner's behalf may request the clerk of any United States District Court to issue a subpoena to a service provider for identification of an alleged infringer in accordance with his subsection. No problem with that. He is a copyright owner. He may request the clerk of the U.S. District Court to issue a subpoena for identification of an alleged infringer in accordance with his subsection. You don't have to prove they're an infringer. They can be an alleged infringer, and you can ask for this. So far, so good. Contents of request. This request may be made by filing with the clerk, copy of the notification, a proposed subpoena, and a sworn declaration. So the notification to the infringer, the proposed subpoena you want them to issue, and the sworn declaration to the effect the purpose for which this is sought to obtain. He does these. He satisfies these. No problem. So yes, check box 1, check box 2, contents of subpoena. The subpoena shall authorize and order the service provider receiving the information, the notification and subpoena to expeditiously disclose to the copyright owner or a person authorized by the copyright owner information sufficient to identify the alleged infringer of the material described in the notification to the extent such information is available to the service provider. So essentially he's saying to the service provider, give up this person's name and whatever contact details you have so that they may be contacted. So the basis for it does that. So the basis for granting the subpoena if the notification filed satisfies the provisions of subsection C3A, the proposed subpoena is in proper form, and the accompanying declaration is properly executed, the clerk shall expeditiously issue and sign the proposed subpoena and return it to the requester for delivery to the service provider. So, yeah. I was saying if we had C3A handy, we don't. Rules applicable to subpoena. Unless otherwise provided by in the section or by applicable rules of the court, the procedures for issuance and delivery of the subpoena and the remedies for non-compliance with the subpoena shall be governed to the greatest extent practicable by the provisions of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure governing the issuance, service, and enforcement of a subpoena ducis tecum. Okay, fine. That's the rules. Now, here's the request. This is the request for the subpoena ducis tecum. And as Island says, for the $2, subpoena ducis tecum sounds dirty. Are we PG now? Yes, subpoena ducis tecum. Rower. Right. Applicant satisfies each of the requirements. The applicant, being David Gingras, satisfies each of the requirements of 17 U.S.C. Section 512H as follows. A true and correct copy of applicant's notification as described in 17 U.S.C. is attached hereto as Exhibit A. It is. The form of the proposed subpoena to respondent is attached hereto as Exhibit B. It is. And a sworn declaration to the affidavit that the purpose for which the subpoena is sought is to obtain the identity of an alleged infringer and that such information will only be used for the purpose of protecting rights under Title 17 of the use. That's the this fair use copyright section stuff. Wherefore, applicant David Gingras requests the clerk of the court to issue the subpoena to respondent in the form submitted herewith. Well, now we get into the meat and bones. The first thing is the notification sent to Reddit. Exhibit A. This is where I have problems. This is where I have problems, not so much as you might expect with what is said, but with how it is said. That's what I have the problems with. This is the letter from David Gingras, as you can see, to Reddit. CC to Laura. Now, all right, I'm frustrated. I got to admit, I am frustrated. This doesn't need to happen. You can be the exemplary lawyer. Let's just go back up to Exhibit A here. You can be the exemplary lawyer in this. You can put on your office letterhead, put, the addresses, the 2 lines, the subject line, and say, to whom it may concern, or dear Reddit legal compliance, dear Reddit DCMA people, I am so-and-so representing so-and-so. I have a copyright over this original matter. This, and this shows that one of your Reddit users is infringing upon my copyright. Therefore, I request that within the, in relation to the proper statute, that you provide me with this information. Sincerely, lawyer name. Keep it professional, because you're going to have to attach it to a document that you submit to a district court, to a federal court. It's going to be part of a legal document, because they're not just going to give up the ghost without the subpoena. So you would want to put your most professional voice, your most professional attitude, and also keeping it friendly would help the recipient's lawyer go, all right, this guy's going to do this. He's going to get it anyway. We may as well give it now. I'm not saying they would or would not, but it would make your opponent. Now, your opponent is not necessarily your enemy. And I think that's lost on a lot of people. Opponent and enemy are different. lawyers are very, very often opponents, but they don't have to be enemies. You can go, all right, hey, great. We're facing off in court again today. You won this one. I think you're wrong, and I think you're an idiot, but dang, you won. Let's go have a beer. You don't have to hate someone forever. And the same with non-lawyers. If you're writing letters to an opponent party, if you're writing letters to someone else, keep it professional. Keep going, hi, I'm the lawyer for this person. And the law says this, this, and this. But, do this, and I look forward to receiving your positive reply. And you know what? If they remember, even if they lose, if you hand them their ass, if you hand it to them in a nice enough way, there's a chance that they'll come back and go, hey, remember when you did that to me? You were very good. You were very professional. You're very respectable. Now I want you to go hand me someone else's ass. It's the you catch more flies with honey than vinegar thing. Be respectful, be professional, be adult about it. When you're asking someone to take something down, when you're asking to give something, when you're asking someone for money, do it as nicely and warmly and friendly as possible, especially if it's part of a subpoena application, because it's going to be part of an official court record that somebody's going to look at. Well, let's Equality says, Jeff, I admire your niceness, but when someone keeps being mean to you and you keep being nice to them, that's just letting them walk all over you. You don't have to be a doormat. No, you don't have to be a doormat. You definitely don't have to be a doormat. I have this weird thing in me that at least publicly, if someone's being shitty to me, sometimes I think it's more fun to be super nice to them back. Just because sometimes it makes them even angrier. No, I'm not saying anybody needs to be a doormat. You can learn to say things in ways which are devastating and stick up for yourself in ways that are very aggressive without sounding aggressive. And the sort of the classic example that I use is Clint Eastwood. You get somebody rolls up on you, and they just get out and they just start, hey, you motherfucker, what are you doing? Give me that. What are you doing? Come on, you want to get out of me? You're first thing is like, dude, what the fuck is this guy's problem? You're like, what's wrong with you, dude? You're get out of here. But the same way someone wants to roll up on you and start shit. If it's Clint Eastwood, he just rolls up and says, go ahead, make my day. That makes you stop and pause a little bit. Being sounding like a nut job, sounding like an asshole, just makes people go, dude, what's your problem? Get out of here. But is that just, what about the rights of that little girl? Go ahead, make my day. Just go ahead. That can scare you a lot more. So that's sort of my style. But well, anyway, let's look at how this was presented. Yeah, Patrick Swayze and Roadhouse. That's another good example. Right. Well, needless to say, David Gingras, despite me, and he probably hasn't watched much. I know he's watched something of what I've done because he said Law of Vices seems to be a decent guy. Thanks, Dave Neal, for making everybody call me Law of Vices. It's your fault. I blame you. Oh, Amy, you hit it on the head right here. He always wants to resort to ad hominem attacks, which shows he lost the argument. It doesn't necessarily have to even show that he lost the argument. It just means that it's not nice. It's just, and I've always cautioned, it's even in the intro song, be better. Be better. You're a lawyer. You're an officer of the court. I'm holding you to a higher standard. You should want to be respectful. You should want to be seen as professional amongst your peers. I want other lawyers to go, damn, this guy's a good lawyer. This guy's always respectful. He's professional. He plays by the numbers. He gets his point across. And then we go cut up loose later. But hi, Reddit DMCA peeps. I don't know if this is one of these hello fellow youths kind of things. But starting out a legal letter with hi Reddit DMCA peeps, I will tell you I've been doing this legal thing for 28 years. 31 if you want to count law school. In 28 years of being a lawyer and 31 years of studying and using the law, I have never once started a letter or referred to anyone in any letter as peeps. It's disrespectful. I know you want to be like the cool guy, the cool kid, but when you're like, what the fuck? Who are you? Why are you calling me peeps? And hi. Nothing wrong with hi. If you read some of my professional stuff that even to friends, there are lawyers like that I have worked with in England and other places for more than 20 years. And I will still say, dear Mr. First, Middle, and Last Name. But, it's hi when we're together. I just want my professional stuff to look professional to anyone that looks at them anytime. If I, and maybe that's more like of a Korean culture-y thing. But like if I wanted to send a letter to David Gingras, a professional letter, like in my capacity as a lawyer, I don't care if I've known him 1 day or 20 years. I would start with, dear Mr. David Gingras. I would say, hi, David, or hi, Dave, or sup, D. While that may be perfectly fine to us outside of the office, I want someone who looks at this 5 years down the road that has no idea who I am. I want them to, if they stumble across this, to go, oh, all right. This guy's a professional. Now look at it and go, hi, peeps. What are you, a lawyer? Really? Come on, dude. That's just me and my personal style. I think keep it professional, especially if you're reaching out to someone and asking them to do something. Anyway, hi, Reddit DMCA peeps. Maybe I was a little bit too triggered by that. I don't know. My name is David Gingras. I'm a lawyer in Phoenix, Arizona. And instantly, when I read that, my eyes flashed back up to the hi, Reddit DMCA peeps. And I'd be thinking, are you really a lawyer? Because that I mean, if I roll into someone and go, hi, peeps, I'm a lawyer, I can be like, yeah, you don't sound like one. Sound like a lawyer. If you're going to call yourself a lawyer, sound like a lawyer. A nice lawyer. So this, hi, I'm a lawyer in Phoenix. I'd be like, hey, really? You said hi, peeps. It's not really lawyerly. I'm sending you this notification of claim infringement for 17 USC 512C3. Note, I don't want to get into a stylistic fisking here. If any of you are old enough to remember the term fisking, I don't want to get into like a stylistic thing. But introduction, that's the first time Reddit has seen him. And the very first interaction they have with him is, hi, peeps. I'm a lawyer. Anyway, I have been the DMCA agent for many websites, and I've reviewed literally tens of thousands of DMCA notices in my life. For that reason, I will give you all of the information to ensure this notice is valid, but I will also give you a little extra information to make this easier and less boring. Right there is where we begin getting into trouble. End it with, I will give you all the information to ensure this notice is valid. Period. Next paragraph. It's when he wants to go off the deep end and do with but I'll also give you some extra information to make it easier and less boring. DMCA requests are boring AF. As well, they should be. Here's the fact. For this, and this reason, this needs to be taken down. Or this, and this reason, I need the info. Just get in, get out. These people are effing busy. They don't have time to read all of these. Can you imagine how many DMCA requests that Reddit gets? Does he even need to mention he's going to give him information? No, you should assume that the reason he's writing is to give you information. Here's the deal. Again, doesn't sound very professional, but here's the deal. I am currently representing a woman named Laura Owens in a case involving a guy, a person, a man. Be more professional, jeez. Hey, peeps, here's the deal. I'm representing a dude named Clayton Echard. Clayton was previously the star of the reality TV show The Bachelor. Laura claimed she became pregnant after hooking up with Clayton in 2023. In response, Clayton claimed Laura faked her pregnancy. This is the subject of a pending lawsuit here in Arizona. I won't bore you with all the details, except to say that this case has generated tons of attention. There is also an extremely active community on Reddit here, the Justice for Clayton group. Okay, I think it's could have been shortened. A lot of it's unnecessary, but nothing is particularly problematic other than from a stylistic point of view. Clayton's fans have posted tons of YouTube videos about this case. And by tons, I mean thousands of videos, irrelevant to what's happening on Reddit to a large extent. He just needs to say there's one video on YouTube or two videos on YouTube, etc., etc. Anyway, as part of my efforts to respond to Clayton's fans, I have started posting my own videos. See, all this is unnecessary. Right after he says, I will give you all the information to ensure this notice is valid. Period. The next sentence should be this down here. I've started posting my own videos on YouTube. And then talk about what he has and why it was infringed on. But anyway, as part of my effort to respond to Clayton fans, I have started posting my own videos talking about the case. These are the videos that I create myself, and I am the copyright owner in all of them. My channel is here, and go visit it if you want. It's there for you to consume. Now, here's where it goes off the damn rails. Clayton's fans are, generally speaking, total fucking psychotic assholes. Why on God's green earth, David, would you put that in a DMCA request that you know is going to be submitted in a district court? Why would you do that? And again, if I'm the Reddit people, I'm like, hi, peeps, I'm a lawyer. And this guy says, oh, by the way, certain fans of this other thing you don't care about are total fucking psychotic assholes. I mean, this dude isn't really a lawyer. Come on. And I don't know if it'd be worth my time to even go check to see if he was. It's Amy Sheldon. That's exactly the words I was just going to use. It's embarrassing. I'm suffering from secondhand embarrassment over here. As a lawyer, I'm embarrassed that a lawyer would put this in a document knowing it's going to be submitted to court. It's so unnecessary. And how is it, everything you write as a lawyer on behalf of yourself or on behalf of your client, everything should be designed to make people want to like you and agree with you and see things your way. You're telling some random person that another group of people are total fucking psychotic assholes. Like, why would that make me want to help you? It'd make me, dude, who are you and what the hell is your problem? This is not the way you get people to like you. This is not the way you get positive attention. So anyway, for some reason, he feels it necessary to say Clayton's fans are, generally speaking, total fucking psychotic assholes. As part of this, Clayton's fans, the ones with YouTube channels, have recently started copying my videos and streaming them on their own channels. They are doing this for the stated purpose of ensuring that I do not get views on my own channel. Okay, that has nothing to do with Reddit. Tell us something that has something to do with Reddit. You're asking Reddit to do something. You haven't said what any of this has to do with Reddit yet. Below is a screenshot of a tweet where one of Clayton's fans brags about this specific issue, asking people to go watch my videos on someone else's channel so that I will not get views on my channel. Again, nothing to do with Reddit, but we're going to talk about that tweet below. Note, again, another note, Don't say note, just I submitted a DCMA complaint to YouTube regarding a recent incident of Clayton's fans stealing my content. YouTube agreed with my position and removed the infringing content. I can only assume he's referring to Lauren's video, which is being challenged and understand nearly over with. The time frame is ending, as I understand. Yeah. Yes, this could be a hoax. Was it actually filed? Oh yeah, absolutely. If you look right up here at the top, this is the filing stuff here. Filed on 12/4/24, page 5 of 14. And he said this. He said his file. Anyway, yeah, this is a real thing. This is a real. I know it's hard to believe, but this is a real thing. Yes, he is referring to Lauren, but she appealed it, so he's being very misleading. Well, he is factually correct. He doesn't have to mention the appeal, but it has nothing to do with Reddit. That's the point. He's asking Reddit to do something, and he hasn't told Reddit why he's involved yet, other than to say there's some fans of Echard that use Reddit. So what does this have to do with anything you're asking for? Nothing. And like I said, these guys are busy. They probably got this far and chucked it in the dumpster. I don't know. I'd be like, dude, what's the point? Chuck it. Right. Below is a screenshot. Okay. Note I submitted. All right, here we go. Clayton's fans, being the total fucking assholes they are, have come up with a new plan. See, David, I'm encouraging people to be better and be nice. You make it so hard. You make it so hard. Even people like, I can tell you, you were persuading Lauren. You were drawing her into your side. Then you made her hate you. Don't do shit like this. It's so dumb. It is absolutely unnecessary. And again, it's embarrassing. It just is. I'm embarrassed. You should have regrets about this, I think. Be the zealous advocate. Don't be the total fucking asshole that you're accusing other people of being. Anywho, Clayton's fans, being the total fucking assholes that they are, have come up with a new plan. Rather than streaming my videos on YouTube, now we're finally getting Reddit involved here. Now, at the end of the first page, it's taking an entire page to get you to get the Reddit involved. Clayton's fans, rather than streaming my videos on other YouTube channels, they're writing detailed descriptions of my videos. Notice the italics. They are writing detailed descriptions of my videos and posting those descriptions on Reddit. Again, they are doing this for the stated purpose of ensuring that I cannot monetize my own copyrighted works. I beg to differ with the specificity of what you're saying, but we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it in a minute. I don't need to explain this to you. Then why did you do it? Then why did you do it? I don't need, if you say, I don't need to explain this, but let me explain it to you. Derp. I don't need to explain this to you, but creating detailed written descriptions of my videos for the purpose of stopping people from actually watching my videos is not fair use. This is creating a derivative work, and it's a violation of 17 USC 106(2). Now, full disclosure, chat, you might not like a lot of what I have to say next, but I'm calling things as I see them, and I got to give it to you straight. Let's take a look here. Let's take a look at where are we? Let's take a look at this. And I have to remove this, bring this back over here. 17 U.S. Code 106, exclusive rights in copyrighted works. Now, subject to section 107 through 122, the owner of a copyright, he owns the copyright to his videos. That's not in dispute. David Gingras owns the copyrights to the videos his live streams and whatnot that he has posted, that they're his. So the owner of the copyright under this title has the exclusive rights to do and authorize any of the following. Exclusive rights. Nobody else has these rights. To reproduce the copyright, that's not, he's focused on two here. This is the important line right here for him. To prepare derivative works based upon the copyrighted work. So to make derivatives of the copyrighted work. What does that mean? What's a derivative? Something that is derived from the original work, that doesn't necessarily change it in any way, that is just an extract from it. Hold that in mind. Don't panic. We're coming back to the idea of what is a derivative work. So we can remove that. Let's bring back up the letter and break it down a little bit for you. Not that window, this window. Right, there we go. All right. What's with that said, we'll get back to this, but just hang tight. Just hang tight, folks. We will look at what he's talking about. So these are things that they need for the DMCA. Physical or electronic signature, no problem. Signed, David S. Gingras. Got it. Identification of the copyrighted works claimed to have been infringed. Here's his two videos. You click on the link. You can watch the videos themselves. And I encourage you to do so. I encourage you to go and read that, listen to that video and listen to this and watch this other video. Just listen to them both. These are the two copyrighted works that he's talking about. Now, you also need to identify the infringing works. What are the things that are infringing upon his copyright that he's claiming? And again, I will say that I am not a deeply qualified copyright attorney, but there are basic principles from which you can extrapolate a lot of information. So this is not legal advice or legal analysis per se. It's a bird's eye overview of the situation, which this particular area of law is still somewhat fluid. This is somewhat fluid. It's still not engraved. I mean, if you want to look at a lot of legal principles and fair use stuff, it's so litigated that it's essentially written in stone by the finger of God. This is sort of in this realm, online stuff. It's kind of written in sand just before high tide. It's shifting. It can change. So there's still very much room for discussion and argument here. I don't think it's quite as cut and dried as Gingras would have you believe. That having been said, let's look at the infringing works, shall we? We don't have to look at B. It says B appears to have been removed for some other violation. It was removed for I can't remember exactly what it is. It's a potential use of disrespectful language. So it was removed for potential use of disrespectful language. It wasn't removed for any copyright violations or anything like that. The second, let's go back to A here. A. I'm bringing this up over here. I hate when I open that. It opens up in a different browser. It opens up in Chrome, and I'm not using Chrome, so I have to copy and paste. All right. And I will, while I'm at it, I will do C as well. And we'll refer to these as we go through the next little bit. Great. We've got both of those up, I think. Yes. Oh, my throat dry. That's better. Hi. All right. Hey, peeps. We've been going this an hour and 41 minutes. So I just wanted to take just a couple of quick seconds to say hi to the 310 of you that are here, 282 likes. Thank you so much for all that. That is super, super duper appreciative. And I see, oh my, I see that we have exceeded goal level 2. So before we're done, I owe you a shot of really bad whiskey. Please hit the like and subscribe button, people. And if you haven't already subscribed, just double check to make sure you're still subscribed, because YouTube is asshole and just tends to randomly rip people's subscriptions out from underneath them. So just double check that hasn't happened to you. Let's see if there's anything over here in chat land to read. Cat Ballerina. Why do I have to be nice when he isn't nice? Because you're trying to improve the world. You're trying to raise people up, not smash them down, not wrestle in the mud with the pigs. You can wrestle with them in the mud with the pigs, or you can soar with the eagles. Cat Lady Ballerina, I want you to soar with the eagles. Hey, I'm just, I'm very much a do what I say, don't do what I do kind of guy. Just let you know. K-dubs. This is like my voluntary HOA putting notices in my mailbox. GFU. Should we let Strawberry back in? All right. Well, at the end of this rant, we'll let Strawberry back in. Manders 13. Total tangent. Did you watch Let the Right One In? If so, how'd you like it? I finished it last night. It took me a few days to watch because it's long and has Swedish. It's in Swedish, and I had to read the subtitles. I had to focus and concentrate. It was a weird show. It was kind of cool. I liked it. Was it Swedish or Norwegian? I think it was Swedish. I don't know. Anyway, great show. I liked it. Thanks. Thank you very much, Manders. Right. So there we are. We all think that you should go straight into a Lego stream. We'll give you time to eat and whatever. Oh, no. There is no Lego stream here. What's happening is when I finish this, I'm sharing, and a very dangerous thing is happening about a mile, about 1.5 kilometers from my house. They're having the Busan International Alcohol Festival today. You pay for admission and you get free drinks and samples all day. That's where I'm going in very short order. So, yeah, ain't gonna be no Lego stream today. Likely tomorrow, but none today because I got lots of drinking to do. They have no idea what they've unleashed inviting me to an international alcohol festival. Okay, well. Dingus is a douche. Come on, people. This is one of my faves. I took a film. Oh, yeah. All right. I'm talking about the movie. Free drinks and martial law. Well, that sounds better. It is. Okay. Let's get back into this a little bit here, shall we? First, as I promised, I shall release the hound again. All right. The door is open. The return of the strawberry is imminent. Here she comes. Hey, there you go, buddy. Hope you. Does she look repentant to you? You just want some loves now, huh? Yeah. All right. Go lay down. Okay. This is the identification of the infringing works. I've pulled them up. We'll talk about them here at the relevant point in time. There she is. My contact info, there's Dave's contact info statement. This is one of the requirements. I have a good faith belief that use of the material in the manner complained of is not authorized by the copyright owner, its agent, or the law. The information in this notification is accurate, and under penalty of perjury, I am authorized to act on behalf of the owner of an exclusive right that is allegedly infringed. Me. Okay. Please note, the person stealing my content is user Hito Ezakaru. Because this person has committed 3 separate acts of infringement, I request that you terminate the user's account as a repeat infringer. Now, see, this is very interesting. Unless I missed it, one thing he didn't do in this. What? This is not a beer festival. This is an alcohol festival. There will be no beer. This is like spirit. One thing he didn't do, and I'm scanning back through this, because he's asking for a subpoena ducis tecum for Reddit to ask for, he's asking the court to order Reddit to give him private information, and he has to show the infringement notice. Well, one thing he didn't ask for, and it's not necessarily required, but it certainly would make things more sensible. He hasn't asked Reddit to give up the info. He hasn't asked Reddit, as far as I could see in here, he hasn't asked them for the identity of the person who is allegedly infringing. He's just said, I want their channel shut down. I'm not saying it's fatal or even we'll put a dent in it, but look at the courts going, okay, here's their request. Here's the request to provide, to force someone to provide information. They haven't actually asked that person to provide the information yet. They've just asked them to get rid of the channel. So I would definitely have somewhere in here that I would like 2 things. 1, please provide me with the real life details of this user so that I may contact them personally with my copyright claims. 2, I would like their channel removed as a repeat infringer. He left out the first one. He actually hasn't asked Reddit to give them the information. Maybe the court filing is completely unnecessary. Yes, we say you believe he does in the actual subpoena. Yes, but to get this to court, one of the things he has to do is show the infringement letter that was sent. Show the letter. This is the letter. The letter doesn't ask for what he's asking for in the subpoena. But like it's not necessarily fatal. It's just something that I would have put in there to make sure that it doesn't cause any issues, which may even just be a judge going, but wait a minute, he hasn't asked for the information. I would have put it in there, but anyway, as always, thanks. Here is this. This is the thing he posted. This is where we kind of begin to have some disagreements. To be clear, Megan Fox asked me recently for permission to use my prior video. I said that was fine. Cool. New rule. If any JFC Y2 YouTube person posts any part of this, I will strike you. Now, what is a JFC YouTube person? The definition is not clear. I've asked for a clarification and never gotten a definition of exactly what constitutes and who is identified as a JFC YouTube person. It's not germane to this issue, but it's problematic of a lot of things. Who is a JFC YouTube person? Am I a JFC YouTube person? Can I use any part of it? Is someone who works for Justice for Clayton, or not, not works for, is a member of the Justice for Clayton Twitter thing. Are they a JFC YouTube person? Probably. It's probably someone he's referring to, but how is someone who has ever seen it and says, dang, I happen to agree with Owens' side. Does that make them default a JFC YouTube person? We don't know. So, and again, if any JFC YouTube person posts any part of this, I will strike you. That is just wrong. If you post any part of that video, any part. Now, you are allowed to post parts of it as part of fair use. But saying I will just automatically strike any person who posts in all caps any part of this, that is a fundamental violation of YouTube's terms of service. It's also just straight up it's a false copyright claim. Dumb thing to do, dumb thing to say. If anybody involved in the JFC YouTube movement, matter however you want to, just if anybody involved in this posts anything that is not fair use, I will strike you. Then we have no problem. But just saying any person that posts all caps any part of this, I will strike you. That ain't cool. That ain't cool for a number of reasons, which we'll all right, I'll just get into them right now. One, it's wrong and essentially illegal. It's an illegal copyright stream. It's against the terms of service for YouTube. But here, David, I have mentioned this to you before, whether you saw the videos or whether you read the tweets that the comments I make on the tweets. There is essentially an unwritten rule amongst YouTube creators. You just don't copyright claim each other. You just don't. Even if you can, even if you are 100% legally justified, you just don't. Somehow in the grand scheme of things, it makes you the asshole. There are many people, some very close to me in the LawTube circles, if you want to call it LawTube, that have made justifiable copyright claims against people. And they reaped the whirlwind. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. And in many, many, many places, it means you shouldn't do it. It makes people hate you. It drives people, this is just a thing. I don't necessarily agree with it, but it's just a thing. And I'm glad it's a thing when I want to use a particularly lengthy part of someone's video. It's just this understood rule that I am using your work. I'm commenting, I'm doing things. It's just a thing. There's no legal justification for it. It's just a thing. It's an unwritten YouTube content creator rule. And the people that fall afoul of that get just, I'm trying to think of a word that won't trigger YouTube going, hey, you just get massacred in the public opinion forum. You don't want people just to leave you because, as it's called across the YouTubes, a copyright cuck. Don't be a copyright cuck. Never be a copyright cuck. Never go full copyright cuck. It may sound stupid to someone with no YouTube experience, but it is a legit thing. I can point you to 2, possibly 3 lawyers on YouTube that have fallen afoul of that and paid a heavy, heavy social price for it. Things that happened 2.5 years ago that people will not let die, that creators have been trying to struggle out of this public perception hole. Don't do it. Don't do it. Let them do it. You just create trolls. You create people that if they watch you, it's just for negative purposes. You also alienate other creators wanting to have anything to do with you. It's just bad policy. You take it or leave it, take the advice or leave it, just don't do it. It's bad form. I don't know what else to say about that. If it makes sense to you, it'll make sense to you. If it doesn't make sense to you, it'll never make sense to you. We just let each other use content. Not just lawyers. This is platform wide. General internet unspoken unwritten rule. Content creators do not copyright claim other content creators. Right. Now we can move on to this. This is Clayton's Justice talking to someone in Gingris's thread, which we're replying to Gingras. We're talking to us about another party. So we got like 4 or 5 different people operating here. Lauren Knighty is the focus point of this. And is Lauren still here? She said she was running off to be on the expert. I don't know if Lauren is still here or not. This is the part she wanted to hear, I guess. Are you still here, Lauren? Oh, you're still here. Right. Well, see, the problem with this, and this is what he struck Lauren for. And Lauren, you need to correct me if you're still here and if I misstate anything, because I'm fairly certain Gingras isn't here. Lauren didn't monetize the video. It wasn't the full video. It wasn't edited. If I recall correctly, she didn't tell people not to watch him. I know that. She seemed to do everything right. But somebody else said, rather than give David S. Gingras views, rather than give David Gingras views, here is Lethal Lauren covering his brief video posted tonight, discussing the appellate. So this is not Lauren. This is not Lauren saying, do not watch David Gingras's video. Come and watch my video instead as a replacement to his video. That Lauren did not say that. Lauren didn't say, look, don't watch his video. Come and watch mine instead. It was somebody else saying this. Somebody else was saying, don't watch Gingras's video because Lauren has one that's better or covers the need or whatever. So Lauren, who would be the infringing person in David Gingras's eyes, Lauren, the infringing person, is not the one that's steering people away from you. It's another person. Now, seeking justice for all victims of Laura Owens, Clayton's Justice isn't infringing on anything by saying, don't watch him, watch this instead. That has nothing to do with fair use, copyright, or whatever. That's just someone saying, don't watch this, watch that. The person who did that hasn't said, don't watch this, watch me. So that's a whole problematic thing. Yeah, exactly, King Salmon. Lauren is not responsible for things that other people say. Lauren is not responsible for anyone else's behavior. Lauren is responsible for Lauren's behavior. So anyway, he's basing this on this. People are actively saying, steer away from this. Don't watch David S. Gingras's views. Watch this. But for the reasons we've said, that doesn't apply to Lauren. Does it apply to, hang on. Oh, damn it. I need to look at my history here. Where's my browser history? Because I need to bring up something else I was looking at earlier. This stupid collapse of everything annoys me. Is this what I was looking at? No. Please don't make me wing this. It's going to make me wing this. I had a little something I wanted to read. Just bear with me again 1 quick second here, peeps. Peeps, I did it I just called you peeps. I hope you don't hate me. All right, well, I'm gonna have to wing it. I'm not gonna waste your time by continuing to search for stuff. All right, look, let's see what he's griping about here. If we continue to go down. Exhibit B. This is the subpoena to reproduce document information, objects, blah, blah, to permit inspection of premises, etc., in civil action. Production. You are commanded to, all right, I hate this stupid bar. You're commanded to produce at the time, date, and place set forth in the following documents. Electronically stored information or objects, blah, blah, blah. Any documents you have showing the true identity of Reddit user. See also this Reddit, including the user's name, email address, contact information, IP logs for any logins by such person for the last 3 months. That's what he's asking for. That's what he wants the court to give him. It's interesting he didn't ask Reddit for the information first, but that's what he's asking for the court to order them to give. And proof of service. And here's all the stuff for compliance and penalties for not compliance, etc., etc. Exhibit C. Here is his very short declaration. I, David Gingras, have been duly sworn, hereby state as follows. My name is David Gingras. I am a United States citizen, a resident of the state of Arizona, and I'm over the age of 18 years, and if called to testify in court or other proceedings, I could and would give the following testimony, which is based upon my own personal knowledge. Pursuant to 17 U.S.C. 512H, I hereby state that the subpoena, which are the subject of this request, are sought to obtain the identity of an alleged infringer, and that such information will only be used for the purpose of protecting rights under Title 17 of the United States Code. I further declare that I have a good faith belief that the conduct at issue here does not constitute fair use within the meaning of 17 U.S.C. 107 and Power v. GoDaddy.com LLC. Pursuant to this, I declare under penalty of perjury, under the laws of the state of the United States of America, that the foregoing is true and correct. I have a good faith belief that the conduct at issue here does not constitute fair use within the meaning of this. His main grounds for doing that were saying this is something that someone did specifically to drive people away from his created content to replace it with another one so as to cause damage to his. Let's look at some stuff, shall we? Present. What have I done? We want to go to first the recap, I guess. This is the first thing. This is the first Reddit thing that was posted, and I need to put it somewhere where I have a better view of it. Right. We can move. I'm thinking I'm doing stuff here, peeps. I've got to stop calling you peeps. I said peeps way too much today. Now it's stuck in my brain here. Damn it. All right. People. Okay. Recap of Gingras reading Mata's bar complaint. Hi, everyone. I have a way of watching a YouTube video without giving views. So I do not give this man any views. That is problematic wording, in my opinion. That is problematic. I have a way of watching a YouTube video without giving views. So I do not give this man my views. That looks a whole lot like what David Gingras was saying, doesn't it? You are saying you have a way of taking my work and actively driving people away from my work to replace it with another work. What damages can you don't have to prove damages in copyright claims. You don't have to prove damages. It's just, is it infringing? If yes, you can't use it. But like I said, I'm saying stuff that a lot of you are going to take exception to, but bear with me. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. The fair use it's a very, very, very fact-specific thing. There are some broad examples, like you cannot just go and make a phone, record a movie on your phone and then upload it as a replacement to the movie. That is clearly infringement. That's not even a question. But things like this, summaries, at what point does a summary fall afoul of fair use issues? It's a very fluid, very delicate, especially now. This is not a conclusively settled area of law, and a lot of that has to do with just the fact specificity of it. Now, there's essentially four main things that are looked at when you're concerned about fair use. One of them is the purpose of the use. You know, is it? And a lot of people say, well, it's commercial, it's not commercial. That's not the only thing to be considered. Why are you using? Why are you using the use? Why are you using this person's work in the first place? So you look at how the party that's claiming fair use, how are they using the work? Now, if it is nonprofit, if it is commercial, and if it is nonprofit, non-commercial, educational, then it's more likely to be found fair use. But that doesn't mean that all nonprofit or commercial use and non-commercial uses are fair. It doesn't mean that all commercial use is not fair. The courts, they need to have a balance. They need to balance the purpose of the use and the character of the use against the other factors that are being considered. Now, transformative, if works are transformative, it's more likely to be considered fair. Now, transformative uses are uses that add something new with a further purpose, or that transform into a different character. And the important part of a transformative argument, whether something is transformative or not, is does it substitute the original use of work? Is your use intended to substitute the original item? Are you trying to transform it into something new, or are you trying to substitute the original work? And I think we have arguably, again, not conclusively, but arguably, I have a way of watching a YouTube video without giving views. Arguably, that indicates that you want your work to be a substitute for the original work, not a transformative work that changes it and creates a brand new product. So I have a way of watching you. It at very, very least gives David Gingras a foothold to argue. Mander says, but that doesn't make sense either. That logic would make Cliff's Notes illegal, or Spark's Notes. You know why? Because you know why it doesn't? Because Cliff's Notes and Spark Notes, they get permission from the copyright owner to do those things. Yes, they are. They're not supposed to be substitutes. Cliff's Notes, they'll specifically tell you they're not substitutes for the work. They're study aids. They're intended to enhance your understanding of the work. But Cliff's Notes, you know damn well, Cliff's Notes and Spark's Notes are getting permission from the copyright owners to make their reviews. Equality, you're coming close to the point. Yeah, so Cliff's Notes and Spark's Notes, they get permission from the copyright owners to make them. So they're not illegal. But anyway, it's if you're claiming it's a transformative in nature, it has to literally transform it to a new work, not serve only as a substitute for the original work. Do a music analogy. You can quote it. You can quote a few lines of an Alice Cooper song, but you just can't quote the entire song and put it to the same music and sell tickets for your. Anyway, I don't know. That's lame. I was trying to come up with something off the top of my head. Anyway, so there are arguably enough of a toehold for an argument to be made that it's not transformative. It's a replacement. Now, the nature of the copyrighted work, the more creative or imaginative works, such as, I guess, song, music is a good example of this. Music is creative, imaginative work. It's less likely to support a claim of fair use than using a factual work. But this isn't really an important issue here, the nature of the copyrighted work. The amount and substantiality of the portion. How much of the original work are you using? And this is a very, very important thing here too, man. Copyright law does have a long way to catch up with modern technology. That is definitely part of the lesson. It's way behind. That is an absolute grand thing. So how much of the original work is used? You have to look at both the quantity and the quality of copyrighted material. Does it include a large portion of the copyrighted work? If it includes all of it or a large portion, then the chances are it being fair use is less likely. Now, if you use only like one or two sentences or quote a couple of paragraphs from a novel for a review, it's more likely to be fair use because you're not using the whole thing or most of it. But if that would just confuse things if I said that more. So you have to look at how much is being used. And I haven't seen the original video, but just looking through this, these recaps, it looks like it's kind of a blow by blow replay of what was, happening. So it seems to be based on all of the work. But the important thing, and the important thing that Gingras was talking about, which was specifically mentioned in the subpoena application, was derivative works. Now, one of the tests for the derivativeness of the works, I guess, is to what extent the use harms the existing or future market for the copyright owner's original work. How much does a recap of this nature, how much does something like this affect the existing or future marketability? And it doesn't necessarily mean financial marketability. It can just mean you're getting it out to the public. That's why, like, if you want it to like copy a text, TED Talks. TED Talks are amazing things, and you may want to use one. But TED Talks, if you look at their permissions for use, they're very, 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 very strict on it. We saw MG Law here in a second ago. Even if it is found to be a derivative work, it is still protected under fair use. I'm going to have to disagree with you to a certain extent on that. Again, it's not it's derivative, therefore it is unprotected and it's not fair use. But the other side is not true as well. A derivative works can most definitely be not fair use. But anyway, that'll all come out here in just a minute here. So when you're looking at this factor, this derivative factor, courts will tend to look at whether the use is harming or hurting the current market, the current interest for the original work. Are you displacing his viewers and bringing them to you as your viewers? Is this recap intended to replace the original? Again, we have this statement up here that I have a way of watching a YouTube video without giving views. So I do not give this man any views. It is arguable that the intent of this, based on the first sentence, is to harm the marketability of the original work. It's arguable the intent is to replace watching his video for reading this recap. It's kind of almost what they're saying. Don't watch him, watch me. Replace him with me. Read me so you don't have to watch him and so you don't give him views. And you also want to consider things like if more people start doing this, would it become widespread and do more widespread harm to the person's marketability? Now there are a ton of other things that are considered, but these are the big ones. I need to kind of move this out of the way here so I can see it here. And all fair use claims are handled on a case by case basis. Very, very fact specific. And I think, and like I said, a lot of you don't like what I'm saying, but I'm just calling it as I sees it. Based on this first sentence in the first paragraph here, I think there is at least an arguable point that Gingras can make. Don't watch it, because it's essentially can be argued that this says don't watch his stuff, watch my stuff. I'm taking what he said and I'm deriving this post from it, and I'm actively trying to avoid watching him. It's a problem with the wording of the first sentence. If this first sentence is gone, I think we'd be having a very different conversation with me. If that first sentence wasn't there, I would be arguing something completely different. MG Law says that sentence is not telling anyone not to give him views. It's arguable. It doesn't specifically say that. I'm saying it is arguable. I have a way of watching a YouTube video without giving views. So I did not give this man any views. And, that's the implication seems arguably to be there. And listen, I'm not saying whether this is or is not fair use. This is a very, very fact specific thing. I'm saying Gingras may not be without grounds for making the argument. That's all I'm saying. Let's look at the other one, shall we? The other one. This video was released on David Gingras' channel on YouTube. I will not be providing a link here. Note, when I make a note, it usually means I'm providing commentary. Also, advanced apologies to the mods if I accidentally broke anything. Now, this starts out with this video was released on David Gingras' channel. I will not be providing a link. That first sentence is much different than the first sentence of the other post. This one just says it's over there on David Gingras' channel. I'm not going to link it here, but it doesn't actively say I'm doing this so that I don't have to give so that I and parenthetically you don't have to give this other person views. And it goes on to have a very, very lengthy and detailed description. I think his arguments that this particular post violates fair use is much, much weaker than the first post. And I'm still not saying that the first post is or is not a violation of fair use. I'm just not that deep of a practitioner of U.S. Copyright law to make such a determination. But before I rant further, we must stop and feel the love. Pro Farrier, not really my homie. He's my homie from Arizona. Tuning in for the first time in a while. You, sir, get a foghorn. For dropping the fitty, tuning in for the first time in a while. We had another baby boy. Oh, congratulations. That is awesome. He spent some time in the NICU, but all is good now. So glad to hear that. Finally getting back to normal, and that means enjoying the law racks on a regular basis. Pro Farrier is awesome. Dude needs to be encouraged to put more videos on his family, on his channel. Because y'all know you love to watch those horseshoeing and hoof cleaning videos. Pro Farrier's got his channel. If he just needs more, we talked about this. You would be instant success. Pro Farrier is a good man. We had drinks in Vegas this past summer. Awesome dude. And now again, once again, a father. Congratulations, Pro Farrier. You are awesome. Deeply appreciate that. Glad to have you here. Island says $5. Funny thing is, I think Gingras has a bit of a point, but he blocked me for saying Laura Owens' autism diagnosis was unexpected. And I'm such a nice girl. You are a nice girl, Island. Island's always a nice girl. But so, gosh, thank you, Island. Thank you, Pro Farrier. You warm the cockles of my heart. Right. So let me pull back from this a bit. We don't need that on screen, and I'll stack the dogs. Stack me and the dogs. Would Gingras have to show potential market harm? If that's the hill he's going to die on, that's one of the considerations. And he's a relatively small channel, but the problem is the future. It also has to do with the future marketability. This is why it would drive me insane if I had to be a copyright lawyer. It's not really the Wild West, but it feels like it. Now, that's all I'm saying from this review. I am not saying Gingras is right, but I'm also not saying the Reddit person is right. I'm saying, and the only thing I'm saying from this is that it's not as ridiculous as it seems. I'm saying that David Gingras has at least a reasonable footing to make these arguments. Whether he's correct, whether the arguments would ultimately be successful if he's able to get at the at the Reddit person, is a completely different subject. I'm just saying he has what seems to be a bit of a point. And it's a point that's going to be argued from, we're assuming that it gets to the arguing point. He has a bit of a point to argue in favor of this being a violation of fair use, and the Redditor person has also well-grounded footing, I think, to argue that it's fair use for some of the reasons you all are saying here in chat. So that's the only thing I want to get out of this is it's not as cut and dried, I think, as it seems. And I hope that came through, that it is reasonable to say there's something to look at here. Not it's just complete bullshit. Bubbles with a $10 says, justice for pond moles. Hey, it's cold out here. Legal Vices, take my money and get some warm mittens. I had to put on my mittens. Well, they're gloves. I had to put on my gloves yesterday, and part of my I love Irish wool. Like from the Aran Sweater Market people, they make all my flat caps. I have a couple of very nice, super comfortable cardigans made by them. And I also have like some knitted half finger gloves, or as I call them, my phone operating gloves. They're so nice. Jim Schuler says, listen to Jeff and don't give Gingras points like this in the future. Yes, I'm not going to give any legal advice as to how to avoid things. Just no fair use. That's K-N-O-W, not N-O. Know what fair use is when you use it. Thanks for such an informative discussion, Legal Vices. Out of curiosity, rather than going through a subpoena, why didn't he just ask Reddit to remove the content? He asked Reddit to remove the user for the violations. He didn't ask for the information from, their personal information from Reddit, which I think is kind of weird. It's what I would have done. So he kind of did ask them to, he asked them to just remove the entire user. Clearly they didn't. It's still there. So clearly Reddit told him to pound sand, which is why he's going to the court to seek the subpoena ducis tecum, the subpoena for the production of evidence. And the evidence he wants is the identity of the person, presumably so he can go after them with some sort of copyright claim, which, as we've discussed, and as we'll mention again briefly here in the very, very near future, like in the next few minutes, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. K-Dubs, QQQ, can you CR a video you upload? Can you copyright a live stream? Yeah. It's recorded. It's yours. And you don't even have to register a copyright. He did for a couple of videos. You only need to register a copyright if you intend to do a few very specific things. The copyright exists. You as the creator are the holder of the copyright. So yes, all of my live streams, all of my shorts, all of my videos, I'm the copyright holder, damn it. But you know what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to copyright claim unless I can't even conceive of a situation where it would be where I would do it. All right, so look. Challenge accepted. 5 nice things about Dave Gingras right now. His cat is cute. He breathes well. Okay, we got 2. He breathes well. I don't. I tend to start hyperventilating a lot. Right. So this boils down to a bunch of points. This particular subpoena issue. Can we not do that? Thank you, dogs. Can we not do that? No inappropriate licking. You are brother and sister. Always remember that. Sorry, I got distracted by some inappropriate pooch licking. Right. I didn't want to talk about all this today, but this is what I woke up to right before I had to come online. So there's so many issues here. And it all boils down to one thing, which I hope I don't forget to make here. Look, was what happened on Reddit, were those 3, we only got to see 2 because one of them's already been removed. Were those 2 that are available, are they violations of fair use? Do they not qualify as fair use? That is not a question that any of us can definitively answer. That is a matter for the court, because it's so fact specific, and there are enough things in there to give David Gingras grounds to argue what he wants to argue. There are grounds for the person to argue that it is fair use. And it's up to a court to decide which one wins. So who's right, who's wrong, I can't say. And again, this is legally right and legally wrong, not morally or ethically or anything else like that. What does he win if he wins? Well, it actually depends what he asks for. If he asks for them to be removed, they would be removed. If he's asking for money for damages, he's got a long, difficult, probably impossible road ahead of him in that regard. If he just wants a moral victory so that he can, jerk off in the mirror and go, I got two posts taken off Reddit. Congratulations. Wow, that was rather graphic, wasn't it? Here I am telling him to be professional, and that's where I went with my example. A moral victory, I guess, if you want to call him that. Yeah. That's what I was getting to. Who's right, who's legally wrong? That's one argument to be made. I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. The next issue is what we've talked about. Just because you can do something, does that mean you should do it? And just it's kind of a rehash, kind of an additional thing to it. Look, I get why he's doing it. I understand why he's doing it. He's a lawyer. He likes to throw around the lawyerly power. He likes to throw around the arguments. He likes to make these arguments. You want to crush your opponent. You want to go the full Conan the Barbarian speech, and hear the laments of their women. You want to dominate. You want to. I get it. You're right. You want to crush them legally. You want to bring them into legal submission in chains at your feet. I get it. I understand it. All lawyers want to do that. And I assume that most normal humans want to do that when they perceive themselves as being right. But again, Amy Sheldon has again taken the words right out of my mouth. But and so is King Salmon. It makes you a bully. It makes you beta. Why? That's my whole big question. Why are you getting so fucking worked up by two Reddit posts that literally nearly everyone on planet Earth would have no idea existed if you hadn't just brought it to everybody's attention? Why? This is not legal advice. This is just personal, man-to-man, content creator to content creator advice. Get the fuck over it. Get the fuck over it. Why do you want to be looked at as a copyright cuck? Why do you want to be looked at as an asshole? Why do you want to be looked at as an enemy? Why do you want to be hated? Why are you doing everything to draw down the wrath of the internet on you? Why don't you want people to like you? Why don't you want people to like your clients? Why are you even on Reddit in the frickin' first place? God, I hate Reddit. Like, the only thing on planet Earth worse than Reddit is Discord. If you're doing, you guys are like exactly one sentence ahead of me. Is it for attention? What a sad way to get it. I was gonna say, if it's for attention, if you're just doing it for you know, the attention of it and the recognition of it. You're getting the wrong attention. Now, Oscar Wilde has very, very famously said, and I've mentioned it many, many times on my stream, Oscar Wilde said, the only thing worse than being talked about is not being talked about. That's sort of the precursor for the, you know, no publicity is bad publicity. Well, that's what we out in Utah call horseshit. You're from Arizona. You know, there's a lot of horseshit in Arizona as well. As horseshit. There is bad publicity. If you're doing this for internet notoriety, hopefully wanting people to come to you as a client, this ain't the way to go about it. You might think people want to see, oh my God, this guy is a tenacious lawyer. Oh, he's aggressive. He's going to fight for me. But they look at it and go, this guy's making an ass of himself. He's beating up on little people. He's getting all worked up about dumb shit that I don't care about. What's this going to do to my billing hours? What's this going to do to my personality? Is he going to listen to me, or is he going to do what he wants? It's going to raise so many. And plus, it just fucking looks bad. It looks terrible. As we mentioned earlier, the unwritten law or rule, laws are bad phrase. The unwritten rule of the internet is don't copyright claim other content creators. Don't feed the trolls. The only thing you can get from copyright claiming someone, other than to have a video deleted, something going on here. The only thing you can accomplish other than having a video deleted is to go, yippee, look at me. I got a video taken down. Ooh. Way to go, tough guy. You know, this must sound completely crazy to someone who's not involved in it. Yes, someone may very well be doing you legally wrong, but ignore it. That must sound just nutso to somebody that's not familiar with, quote, how the game is played. But it is. Go ask Uncivil Law Kurt how great of an idea it is to copyright claim, justifiably so, another content creator. I believe Kurt was completely 100% right back in the copyright claim days, which was 2.5 years ago. It has been a struggle, and I'm sure Kurt would acknowledge it. Uncivil Law would acknowledge it. It has been a struggle to overcome that copyright claim that he made. Well, the copyright claims that he made. The stigma that gets attached to it is unbelievable. He's a good guy. And the thing with him is he did something that that you, David, assuming you're watching, or that David has not done. Kurt instantly apologized, well, relatively instantly. He very, very quickly apologized and withdrew the copyright strikes. 2.5 years later, people are still talking about it. It definitely threw a wrench into his progress on YouTube. Now he's overcome it for the most part, but at very least, he's a cautionary tale. And David, if you want, now nobody makes a YouTube channel wanting to suck and wanting to fail. I mean, that's just plain common sense. Nobody says, I'm going to make a YouTube channel just so I can suck. Nobody will watch me and I'll fail. Everybody wants to succeed. Everybody wants to make a name for themselves. Everybody wants to use YouTube for some particular reason. This ain't the way to go about it. Like literally, if I were to write a what to do to get started, and I mean, you know, what the hell am I? I've only got like 85,000 subscribers. I'm relatively small fish anyway. But what do I know? But if I were to make a book, if I were to write a book or create a roadmap for how to do things, it would literally be, look at what David Gingras has done and do the exact opposite of everything. Everything. And, you know, every person on YouTube is a narcissist. Me, I am a hugely introverted narcissist. You don't have to be an extrovert to be a narcissist. You can be an introvert and a narcissist. If we didn't want people looking at us, we wouldn't be here. If we didn't want people listening to us, we wouldn't be here. I get it. You know, you're a narcissist. You want to be seen. You want to be right. You want to be. Everybody wants that, but there are ways to do it and ways not to do it. I feel like I'm repeating myself and going around in circles here. So maybe that's a good clue that it's time to shut this down after 2 hours and 41 minutes. And I just kind of seem to be spinning the wheels. But dang, it's weird to see. It really is. Like to wake up to this copyright thing, the subpoena. It is the most pointless thing. So fucking what? So what? Ooh, someone wrote a summary, a really detailed summary, because they don't like you and they don't want you to watch. Okay. Even if I go as far as, just for the sake of argument, let's assume your copyright argument is correct and it's not fair use. Oh, so fucking what? Nobody knew about it, dude. I never in a million years would have known that these two posts existed if you hadn't filed for the subpoena. You brought all this out into the open, and it just makes you look weird. And the way it was presented, the unprofessionalness of it, calling people, what was it? The fucking psychotic asshole. Was that the word he used? Was that what we were? Is that what? Not we. Was that what other people were referring? Hopefully, I'm not a fucking psychotic asshole. I don't want to misquote him because it was so bad. Scrolling. Yes. Total fucking psychotic assholes. Again, I mentioned at the time we read over it, it doesn't make you cool to use terms like total fucking psychotic assholes to Reddit, especially when you know that a district court somewhere is going to look at this and go, oh my Lord, lawyer just called people total fucking psychotic assholes. And this is something we'll get into later, but this is on the heels of calling. All right, let me do something real quick here, because again, I don't want to. I don't want to misquote this. He was, I don't know if cautioned isn't really, I don't know. He was urged to be mindful, I guess, by the Arizona State Bar to think about professionalism when making comments about other individuals in social media and on blogs and your website. Please refrain from personally insulting language and name calling directed at other individuals. Your professional obligations would be better suited. On the heels of being cautioned, he refers to the people as total fucking psychotic assholes. Now, that wasn't directed at an individual, and he can play the name. Well, they just told me to be mindful of directing this at. He doesn't actually talk like that. He has a much better voice than that. That's just my people who are not me voice. I have about 3 different voices. You got the dumb guy. You You got the sort of weirdos, the kind of the cream of the frog thing, and then you just got the normal, not me dude. They said, he can latch onto it and say, they told me not to do it to individuals, but I did it to the group of people, so it doesn't apply to me. It's the same thing. Whether it's in an individual or a group, don't use the insulting language, total fucking psychotic assholes in a legal document, for Christ's sake. Do you have to be told that? Don't write it to anyone. Don't write it to someone else about someone else, and don't do it in something that's going to end up in a legal filing, which is something that we're going to see comes back to, again, bite him in the ass when, in his attempt to get Judge Mata thrown off the case, he used things like, "See, Daddy, I'm a real judge," or whatever it was, and that he put that in a legal filing, which ended up being thrown right back in his face in a bar complaint filed by Judge Mata herself. Why do you do this shit that puts you in this position? David Gingras, if you ever see this, please, for the umpteenth time, I challenge you to be better. Be a banner of the legal community. Don't make people hate me because of this shit you do. Don't make people go, fuck lawyers because look what this douche canoe said. Don't do that. Be better. Treat people with dignity. Win your enemies. And I can't say I thought when you were getting ready to do this YouTube thing, you were on the right track for about a minute and a half. And then you went off the rails. But come on, dude. JKD Buck, if you were making fun of me, which voice? I'd probably use the dumb guy voice because, sometimes you're not a dumb guy, but, sometimes the stuff you say comes over better in dumb guy voice. Right. I don't really have any more to add to this conversation, and we're not going to get to anything that I really wanted to talk about today. So I gave the 10,000 foot overview, and then this happened. So what I want to talk about next time, and I'm not sure when it'll be. It might be a week or so before we get back to this. But next time we get back to this, I want to go over the judgment again, the judgment that Judge Mata handed down, because it's been so long. And we'll read the appeal. I lied. I've got my streams crossed. There's so many damn things I have to talk about. Erase everything I just said for the last 30 seconds. When we get back into this will be Monday. Fudge, how am I going to do this? Now I got a plan. We had to get through the judgment today because on Monday, Megan Fox and I, we are going to take turns reading the appeal. That's what it's called. I had like the Korean word hangso going through my mind. Megan Fox and I will be reading the appeal that he filed starting Monday. It's 64 pages long. So it's going to take a few days. We'll alternate. We'll simul stream it. But one day I'll be in charge on Monday. She'll be in charge on Tuesday. I'll be in charge on Wednesday, etc. Until we finish it. But once we finish with that, then maybe you got to go back and reread the judgment. I don't know. We have so much to cover with this thing. But one thing that we will do is we'll have to go over this thing. This thing that is his YouTube presence. I don't understand it, and I really wish I could. And perhaps me trying to understand it says there's something wrong with me too. I don't know. But I don't understand why he's doing these things, going after this. I don't understand why he's going after Lauren Knighty. Lauren is good people. Lauren even tried to explain what she did and what she didn't do. I don't understand why he's got to go off calling people total fucking psychotic idiots or assholes. I don't understand why you want to be confrontational. And this thing he and Laura did, well, I guess Laura Owens did with this video, what do you call it? The audio video company thing, where they fucked up the audio. And then they blamed the studio for giving them a terrible product. And it went to the Better Business Bureau. Laura filed something with the Better Business Bureau and the State Attorney General's office, I understand. When they're clearly and demonstrably wrong. But she does this and he approves it. I don't understand any of this. And I want to talk a little bit about that at some point. I don't know when we'll get around to it. Because like I said, Monday we'll start reading the appeals. And God, there's so much going on. But that's what we're going to focus on, at least for the next few days next week. With that, I guess we'll wrap it up here, because I'm running in circles at this point. I've said things, but what I want you to all walk away from this thinking is not that I'm saying this subpoena thing is right or wrong, or that the underlying copyright issues, whether David is right or wrong, or whether the poster is right or wrong with regards to the argument of fair use. I want you to come away thinking that it's not as cut and dried as it may seem in this one instance. This might be one where you go, okay, Gingras has a point, but then we still have the fallback. So fucking what? Why are you doing this? Really? And what? But from a legal standpoint, which is really the only point I can look at, there are grounds to argue that he might have a point in this particular instance. Whether he does or not is a different story, but there are grounds to argue it. That's the only thing I wanted to come away from. So I can't take sides and go, everything David Gingras says is full of shit, or everything that Clayton Echard's side says is absolute gospel truth. I just got to call him as I see him. And I think this is in a gray enough area that arguments can be made. Doesn't mean you have to pat him on the back and go, good job, Gingras, you won this, or that he did. If y'all hate me and want to unsubscribe, there's nothing I can do about it. But that's just my take on this one particular incident. Do I think he's wrong about everything else? Pretty much, yes. This one, arguable. Not saying right, not saying wrong. Just saying arguable. Based on my limited knowledge of copyright stuff. So there we go. Let me see if there's somewhere we can. Does anyone know if Tug and Megan are still going? It looks like they are. All right, so I'm gonna send us on over to Megan Fox and Tug, and you just might see me over there. I have to look at my time. I have to work out timing and stuff, but you just might see me over there. All right, here's me in the studio. Customization. Redirect. How many we got like 422 people watching across the internet. And let's see. Over here on YouTube, we've got 275 people, 350 likes. I'm going to read up these last few super chats. We're going to get on over to Megan Fox. And we'll see you with Megan Fox on my channel on Monday. Let's see. We had Pro Farrier. Thank you again so much, brother, for that big old one there. Equality, 1 year. Woohoo. Member for a whole year. Dang. But how dare you make me learn copyright law when I should be studying it? I'm not trying to educate you on copyright law. Just calling as I see it. Ugh. If I had to teach one thing, it would not be copyright law. Justice for Pond Mole, says Bubbles. Hey, it's cold out there. Legal Vice, take my money and get some more mittens. We already discussed my gloves. Thank you very, very much. We already did K-Dubs. Thank you very much. Okay, K-Dubs, you may be a narc, but we don't have to live with you. Love you. Why am I a narc? What did I do? And Natalia. What's up, Natalia? Natalia became the newest member of the Clean and Sober crew. Thank you so much, Natalia. Great to have you here. Hope you'll stick around. Natalia, not unsubscribing. I appreciate the knowledgeable perspective. Well, thank you very much for not subscribing. In fact, you've done the opposite of not subscribing. You have become a member. Thank you very much. All right, people. We're at that time. There's no more that I can give in this today. There's no more that I can beat up and jump around on. I think you got the point. Whether you agree with me or not, we're still friends. We're still buddies because I love each and every one of you, and I'm not going to jingress you, and I hope you won't jingress me, you fucking psychotic assholes. I love you guys. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else but with you guys because I happen to have what I will tell you right now. You all are part of the Legal Vices Vice Squad. The Vice Squad is the greatest chat on the entire internet. Even though you are total fucking psychotic assholes, I love you because I'm one too. One of us. All right, mods, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for sticking around. Thank you so much over there just for being here, for all the support, for the generosity, the purchased chats, the offline gifts, where the cash apps, the purchase memberships, the gifted memberships. Thanks for all that. So go on over and say howdy to Megan and make sure you let her know that it's a huge Legal Vices raid and you love her to death. And Tug, see you on over there. Take care, everybody. And I will see you on Monday for more of the Laura Owens, Clayton Echard extravaganza, which will be the reading of the appellate brief. Bye, folks. See you.